kind of think of Shelley as like the Justice League. Everyone talks about, Brindley Cannon, but they're kind of like the Justice League. They just have a nice set of characters that back them up.
When it comes to high school sports, East Idaho never gets its due.
I ran into Jeremy Hess, the AD of Grace Lutheran, and, he was just excited. And then, I'm just talking to him and he goes, we have 7 girls. So just amazing.
But the East Idaho Prepcast has changed that, covering the biggest sports stories from Salmon all the way down to Bear Lake.
And again, Grace is always that team just kind of lurking, like, yeah, there's Grace. They don't have social media, but you know what? They have footballs, they got grass, and they got pads, and they use all those very well.
It's the East Idaho Prepcast with Sean Kane on IdahoSports.com. That is right. Welcome in. It is season 4 of the East Idaho Prepcast on IdahoSports.com. Your weekly stop down of the biggest stories happening in the high school sports scene in districts 5 and 6 over in East Idaho. My name is Brandon Baney. Let's bring in that poet that you heard from in our new intro we recorded for season 4. It's Sean Kane, our East Idaho resident and expert. Sean, what's up?
Well, hello, Brandon. Nice to see you here on in the summertime, even. But yeah, things are good. Gearing down for some East Idaho sports coming here in the fall, and boy, there's a ton going on. But yeah, excited.
Definitely. So season 4 that we've been doing this on IdahoSports.com, and the 4 years has gone. I mean, the 3 years has gone by just as quickly as the summer did. I feel like, Sean.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I always think like, oh, we're talking about this, or it's basketball, and then the year's over, and it's another school year starting up, and it's already football talking happening, and it's crazy to believe that it's been this long, and that East Idaho just has so many great stories coming out and things like that. And just, you find something new every time. It's like, you ever watch Gold Rush, that old show where they go, or not old, it's still like a show, but they go and look for gold, and, and they just, nothing ever works, like sometimes it doesn't always work, but we're always finding gold at the end of the season.
Yeah, we're kind of like the Wright brothers when they were first flying the plane, right? We weren't sure it was ever going to take off and land successfully, but now we've done it several times, and we're getting ready for season 4. We'll tell you all about, you may be new to the East Idaho Prepcast here on IdahoSports.com. You can consume this weekly podcast a lot of different ways. You can watch it, of course. A lot of you are probably watching it right now on the IdahoSports.com YouTube channel, Facebook page, or Twitter account. If you want to know when we're recording a Prepcast, you can like and subscribe any of those 3 areas, or all 3 if you're feeling really good. You can always watch it there. You can also listen to the East Idaho Prepcast at IdahoSports.com across the top of the homepage. There's all sorts of tabs. We've got scores, and we've got schedules, and we've got Prepcasts. And if you click on Prepcast, there's a little drop-down menu. You click on the East Idaho Prepcast, takes you to a webpage with a little player. You can listen to it there. You can also listen to the East Idaho Prepcast wherever you download and subscribe to podcasts: Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, etc. And we're here to talk the biggest stories in East Idaho athletics week in, week out. But Sean, as we start season 4, I've discovered I've used up all of my eligibility. I don't get an extra COVID year like so many NCAA athletes do. So with my eligibility being exhausted, time for some real serious talk. And that is that the show is going to be captained and piloted by a different voice. Now, Sean, you're still going to be here, chipper as ever, I know. But let's introduce the person that's going to be taking over my spot on the show, another East Idaho resident and an expert, great broadcaster for us at IdahoSports.com. Let's bring him in, Joel Richardson. Joel, hello.
Hey, good evening, guys. Really, really a pleasure to be here with you. Sean the poet, I don't know if I can, if I can answer what Sean served as the tennis coach. So I'm just going to try to do my best to return anything he serves, anything he hits. But really, it's a pleasure to be here. Brandon, we're going to miss you big time as you try to, keep all the balls in the air, but we'll do our best here as the East Idaho team, East Idaho experts. But seriously, a pleasure to join this Prepcast.
Yeah, Sean, maybe we can start calling you Shakespeare Sean. What do you think?
Hey, I mean, you moved away from me. Now you're leaving the podcast. I mean, I get it. I mean, it's all right. I get it.
It is. It's a youth thing. I just can't. I
I
can't
know.
bear. No, I'm just kidding.
The slow separation.
Yeah. So for like 5 years, I lived in Pocatello, and Sean and Joel, of course, both live in Pocatello also. And Sean and I actually lived like not that far from each other, like a couple of minutes, which was funny. I didn't discover that until like, 2 years into the Prepcast, but I did move. I moved up to North Idaho. And so I'm not as plugged in with my, feet on the ground as I used to be over there in East Idaho. And additionally, I mean, there's just a lot on my plate, and I'm a big guy already. I don't need any more on my plate. I need to take things off of my plate. And so it worked out perfectly where Joel has really come into his own. Joel, this is going to be your second or third year broadcasting with me.
Yeah, so this is my third season. So I've completed second at basketball. This is my third season.
Yeah, that's incredible. And so it made sense to hand the keys to the engine over to Joel and Sean. You guys broadcast together a lot over in East Idaho. You are a fantastic team, and you're going to continue that here on the East Idaho Prepcast. I'm not going anywhere at IdahoSports.com. I'm still here. I'm not going to be on the East Idaho Prepcast. I might come back every once in a while, Christmas cameo special or so. I don't know.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, all the holidays, right? But I think it's going to be a great time. So this, we always use the first episode of a new season to kind of introduce everybody to ourselves. I'll get mine out of the way super quick because nobody's going to care because I'm not going to be here much longer. But my name's Brandon Baney. Hello. I lived in Pocatello for 5 years. I now live in North Idaho. Prior to that, I lived in Wyoming and Nebraska and Montana, which is where I was born and raised. Let's see. Sports. I played football. I did track. I played basketball in high school. I wasn't very good at any of them necessarily. So if you're not good, what do? You critique other people. That's usually how that goes. And that's pretty much it for me. I worked in radio before I came on at IdahoSports.com. So I have a radio background, and that's where I really learned the trade, as it were. So that's me. Joel, why don't you take the opportunity to introduce our audience to yourself? You're like me. You are a transplant to the state of Idaho, right?
Yeah, transplant. So my wife and I have moved around quite a bit just for work. But yeah, most recently here in Pocatello. My wife's from Idaho Falls. She went to the famed Skyline High School. So she was a great athlete there, a state champion hurdler, cross country runner. She played basketball for Skyline. So anyway, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for East Idaho sports, for Skyline sports. And then we moved here to Pocatello and just kind of fallen in love with the area, especially with the East Idaho High School athletics. But yeah, born and raised in Fountain Valley, California, for those out there who know where that is. Born and raised there. Look, I was too small to play basketball, to play football. I was a swimmer. I ran cross country. And I surfed on the side, and then I was a total choir nerd, and I'll own that 100%. But no, love that in high school, and then after California, just moved around for college and overseas for mission stuff and college, and then most recently here in Pocatello. So we've been here 3.5 years, and starting my third season 3.5 years, starting the third season with Idaho Sports. That's me, Brandon. Great to be here, man.
The first thing I learned so many new things about you, Joel. The first thing I ever learned about you is that you're a BYU super fan, because we were carpooling to a game together, and we were meeting in the parking lot at the Portneuf Wellness Complex, actually. And I noticed you had was it one or two stickers? You had some BYU stickers on your car.
It was like it's like the Y magnet. Yeah, on the back of my car. Yep. And then I think the license plate, like BYU alumni. Yeah. Yep.
Yes. So that was that's where
hold it against me, but love my Cougars.
That's right. Yeah, Joel, and you've been a welcome addition to the team here at IdahoSports.com, and you've been fantastic. We're very lucky to have you as part of the team. Sean, why don't you go ahead and introduce or reintroduce if we have audiences coming back from previous seasons. Tell us a little bit about you. So you too are a transplant, right? But
I am not.
You boomeranged. You were in Idaho, and then you went to. I thought you were from Illinois. Is that just your family?
All my parents. Well, let's take a little back here. All my family's from Illinois. My parents moved out here. I'm the only Kane born in Idaho. I'm the only Kane I've ever known. But I've been here my whole life. Born and raised in Pocatello. Attended Idaho State University, and so I've been in East Idaho my entire life. Now I am a big Bears and Bulls fan, White Sox fan, but I've been here my whole life. I teach for School District 25. I'm a teacher at Century High School, and I've been there for 18 years. And this year I'll be starting my 21st year of coaching high school tennis. All of them except 2 were at Century. I assistant coached at Highland while I student taught tennis. So yeah, I've been in Idaho my whole life. I played pretty much every sport, just not very well, probably like Brandon. And soccer is probably my biggest sport I played, and always played tennis, but no one else played tennis, so I kind of didn't really play. It wasn't so much a team thing, but really fell in love with the coaching aspect of it and the team part of it. And so I've been coaching for 21 years now, starting that 21st season. And I've been doing Idaho sports for a while. You know, that's always the best story of Idaho sports, I think, is the first time I was going to help our fearless leader, Paul Kingsbury, do play-by-play at Century. Brandon was there too. And then like the whole network went down. I think Brandon's run the camera. I ran the camera. I did some play-by-play, and that was our very first introduction to the whole Idaho sports gig. And I've been there ever since. Maybe just because there was no one else, but it's been fun regardless.
Yeah, I remember that, Sean. Your first night was my first night. We technically you started half an hour earlier than I did, because you got to the stadium a little earlier than I did that night. Yeah. I remember it so vividly. Century was playing Bonneville in football. There was some serious tech issues going on, so Paul had to kind of leave the broadcast and get on the phone with our streaming company and kind of figure out what was going on. And yeah, we got thrown into the fire. Sean, you were on Cutler. I was on camera. I made some really cringy, like Captain Planet references.
Oh yeah, for the Bonneville running backs. Yeah. I remember that. Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, it was not great. Like they took the tape of that and burned it. Like that was the game itself was not terrible. It was just our commentary was not great. But yeah, and then you and I have kind of just been parallel ever since, working here at IdahoSports.com. So Sean is, of course, a very acclaimed tennis coach at Century High School as well, coaches boys and girls. Won a state championship this past spring, number 9.
Yep, number 9. So yeah, everyone says good job to me. Let's be honest, the kids just make me look good. They go out and do all the work, and I've just been lucky to have amazing players and families and things like that. And some of the kids are playing in a tournament right now in Idaho Falls and texting me. And that's really, I think, what comes down here in East Idaho is we just have such a great community when it comes to high school athletics, and whether it's tennis, football, golf, the community is just great. And that's what I've loved, maybe the most of it. Everyone kind of likes, the tennis guy. Oh, he knows football, and just getting to meet all the different people. But at the end of the day, being a good coach and being a good community is just phenomenal.
Yeah, Joel, and I think that's what makes the balance so great here. We try to do this on all of our Prepcasts. By the way, we have 4 that we do for each region of the state: North Idaho Prepcast, Treasure Valley Prepcast, Magic Valley Prepcast, and of course the East Idaho Prepcast, which you're watching right now. We try to have one kind of broadcaster that's not in the in the walls, as it were, of the schools and in the athletics. And then we try to have one person that is an athletic director, a coach, a former coach, somebody that's plugged in. And that's what makes it so great, because Joel, you prepare like nobody's. You've already started preparing for football season. You told me earlier this week, which is great. And then Sean has he is a coach. He talks to other coaches. He talks to other athletic directors, because you're constantly trying to schedule opponents and all of that great stuff. So, Joel, I think this is going to be a perfect match here.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And really, one of the complaints I think that people have from where I grew up in California is there's just so much going on. And so there's just so many options. But here in East Idaho, they're not those, you don't have 5-6 professional teams to go attend every night. So where does everyone go in East Idaho and most of Idaho too? Everyone goes to the football stadium on a Friday night, right? Everyone's at the basketball game on a Tuesday, Thursday night. And just to echo what Sean was saying, it makes it so fun to be part of Idaho high school sports athletics here in East Idaho. And I just I get so much joy, honestly, from preparing for these kids, to hitting up coaches, ADs, and obviously Sean and I working together to find that information. It really is a blast. I really enjoy it. Sometimes more than my day job, actually, which is maybe a problem, but it really is a pleasure to prepare for these kids, then bring that broadcast, even the Prepcast, bring our information, and then celebrate these athletes, their families, and their stories.
And that's really what it's all about, sharing these incredible stories of these young men and young women in our communities that are doing great things on the field, but also from a leadership perspective. And of course, the great coaches that are out there as well. Sean, I'm just trying to think back over the years we've done it. Some of the favorite things that I've enjoyed that we've talked about. Grace Lutheran volleyball, going to state with 7 girls in a sport that requires 6 players on the court at one time. I mean, that was incredible last year, right?
Yeah, that one was a great one. The thing that kind of comes to my mind is when 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago? We went to a bunch of West Side games in West Side and did a bunch of West Side games, and we're right next to the band, which is Brandon's favorite place to be broadcasting. And I don't know. It's just, if you don't get to go, not everyone gets to go to all the different football locations or basketball places, but just to kind of go to all the different places is really kind of what sticks in my mind. And going and seeing West Side and their dominance is kind of an exciting thing that always sticks out in my mind. Or Grace Lutheran was great last year, and then just kind of Grace, the high school of Grace, just been phenomenal over the past few years at everything. I think if they had hopscotch, Grace probably would win it in their division. But yeah, just kind of all the different, we get, I'll say we, but sometimes we get wrapped up in the bigger divisions, and East Idaho just has such a wide variety in those second half of those divisions. That's very exciting.
Yeah, and unless you think we're too District 5 heavy, we play it pretty evenly between District 5 and District 6. I mean, some of the great District 6 stories we've covered, Rigby in football and girls basketball, they've been phenomenal. You think back to like Thunder Ridge and what they've done in soccer. Firth in football has been really good the past couple of years. Joel, I think probably the biggest story in Idaho, well, one of definitely 2 or 3 of the biggest stories in Idaho sports last year, you were on the sidelines for at ICCU Dome, what used to be Holt Arena in Pocatello, when Butte County won their first football championship in school history. And not only that, but Dylan Waymeyer, who was, we weren't sure he was going to live after suffering injuries from a car accident, and then collapsed on the sidelines during a game in the middle of the season, had been in the hospital for months and months and months trying to get better, made it to Pocatello for that last game, was on the sidelines in a wheelchair. When they won the championship trophy, he got to stand up with his teammates. I mean, it was just an incredible, powerful moment. And you were right there.
Yeah, Logan Green, our Treasure Valley guy, he was on the play-by-play, I was on color, and he and I both got emotional, like we totally did, as Dilly Strong, right? Dylan Waymeyer got up from the wheelchair, hoisted the trophy, and it was a powerful moment. It was such a cool experience to watch Butte County Pirates. And it was a great game. The Hornets, Butte County, right? Oakley Hornets, right? Butte County Pirates. And but in the end, yeah, Butte County got it. And it was just, it was honest. It was like one of those like, oh, NFL, the NFL script writers, you know what I mean? That was like the East Idaho script writers were doing their thing in the background. Sean, Shakespeare Sean was writing the play for Butte County Pirates to win the championship. It was an incredible moment.
Yeah. And so along those lines, as we're going throughout the season, if there is a story, if there is a team, if there's a player, if there's a coach, something incredible that's happening that you feel like just isn't getting enough attention, we are always open for story ideas. You can contact us a number of different ways. You can always send me an email, Brandon@IdahoSports.com, and I'll make sure it gets to these guys. Joel, I see you've got your Twitter handle on the screen there @E1Educator. Sean usually has his Twitter handle up. You're in summer vacay mode still, Sean.
Well, it just used to automatically be there every time I logged on to this thing. So I don't know. It's probably on your end.
So you're at S Kane 182, right?
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, at Sean Kane 182.
Okay.
Just like that with a 182 on it. So.
Yep, and that's because you're a Blink 182 Uber fan. That's the reference there. So anyways, a lot of different ways you can get in contact with us. We're always on the lookout for great stories, and that's what we're here for, to shine the light on these incredible young men and women in our communities that are doing so many incredible things. All right, guys. Well, next time we hop on for the East Idaho Prepcast, it's going to be Joel and Sean. I'm excited. I'm excited to see, where you guys take the show and the great work that you guys are going to do. And Joel, football season is not that far away, so you've got lots of good topics to talk about.
Yeah, I'm chomping at the bit. Like you teased earlier, I'm already getting ready for Grace Oakley, right? In just a few weeks. I cannot wait. I wanted to hit up the coaches, but I'm going to wait, give them a couple more weeks to have their fall camp. But I'm really excited. We're going to have a lot of good stories. Sean is so connected with his years of coaching experience. So we're going to bring a couple really nice stories every week, maybe bring an athlete of the week, a performance of the week. So yeah, hit us up if you guys out there have a performance that maybe you think we may miss. Kind of nominate your athlete or the performance, and we'll weigh it against the others that we're looking at, and it should be a really, really good season of football and all the other sports that are going to happen. Obviously, it isn't just football, but there's all the fall sports. We'd love to celebrate, the great moments. But yeah, a lot of good stories. Really excited to get started.
Yep, Sean.
Yeah, I was just going to say soccer is just around the door too. Talking to some of the soccer coaches, it should be a very exciting year. East Idaho Y soccer. I think it might just be a year to kind of watch out. Boise Valley, some East Idaho soccer might make some noise this year, and that's just right around the corner. Volleyball, cross country, golf. We got to remember golf. That'll be Joel's job since he's the host. Remember, golf is going on now because they changed it, right? So we got to remember golf in the upper divisions is going on. So we never want to miss out on any athletes.
Yeah, that's actually the first sport that gets started is golf. So lest we forget. So yes, we would love to talk more golf. Golf coaches, send us your results.
Send the picture.
Yeah, send the picture of the scorecard up on the wall, because we know
on the window.
After about 30 seconds after the tournament is over, that thing gets ripped down and thrown in the garbage, and then it's lost forever. So yeah, it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. In the meantime, at IdahoSports.com, of course, we are in the thick of season previews. We write a detailed preview for every football team in the state of Idaho. That's right. From 6A all the way down to 1A. We've got you covered. More and more previews being added every day. If you haven't seen your favorite team yet, keep checking back. We're getting more and more put in. We have almost all of the schedules put in for volleyball and soccer and football as well. And of course, throughout the summer, we've been doing our top 10 lists, position by position, kind of giving you the top 10 players you should keep an eye on this year on the football field, position by position. And spoiler alert, a lot of East Idaho guys so far. So you can check all of that out at our website, IdahoSports.com. But here we are, season 4 off and running here on the East Idaho Prepcast. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you back here next week for Sean Kane and for Joel Richardson. One last time, I'm Brandon Baney, and we'll see you next time on the East Idaho Prepcast on Idaho Sports.